Bonjour, bonjour, everybody. Today is Saturday, November 16th. And I thought I'd come down to Notre Dame today because it's a day they're always working and it's kind of fun. But as you can see, I can't get onto the parvis in front of it or up onto the bleachers. So I'm not sure if how long this is going to be closed. But it looks like they are taking down the tent from last night. So last night they moved over the statue, Notre Dame de Paris, the Notre Dame of the Pillar, and she has returned once again inside of the cathedral, and she is the first statue to return, and it was quite exciting. And I went to go see her where she has been, Saint-Germain-l'Auxerrois, where she has been since October of 2019. So it was really exciting to see her. She was all boxed up and ready to return. And then they did a procession from the church by the Louvre over to here. But they did not move the original one through the street. They put her in a truck, very protected, because she goes back to the early 14th century. And then they carried a resin copy of her through the street. Thousands and thousands of people walked with the Archbishop and church officials. And when she came to Notre Dame, why she is called Notre Dame of the Pillar is because this door here, the door on the left, is the portail of the Virgin, and she once was right there. So she was once there in the pillar in between the doors. And then in 1818, she was moved to this church from the church down the street, placed in the pillar. And then in 1848, Viollet-le-Duc took her out of the pillar and moved her inside of the cathedral. So unfortunately, I wanted to share with you what's going on inside here in the forecourt, but I can't get up there. So let's see if we could peek through the fence, because sometimes we could actually peek. Oh, I see a spot. Oh my gosh. Can you see? Look. Like there's actually, I wish I could see the Pont Zero from here. But look, it really is. Like we are 3 weeks from tomorrow, 22 days away from today, November 16th. But look at that. I'm trying to go up here, see. Oh, there we go. Even better from here instead of the bleachers. But now we're to the point that every single day there's new information coming out about the reopening, about the restoration. And the Treasury, they have been for the last couple weeks. Last Sunday I mentioned they were going to be starting that, but then later that afternoon, they had on the news that they had already been bringing the pieces from the Treasury in. And the days after the fire, it was 1,300 pieces came out of the Treasury, and all of those pieces have been cleaned and restored, and even other new things are going to be added into it, like a piece of the cloth of the robe that Napoleon wore at his coronation that was here on December 2nd, 1804. And I'm going to have a whole bunch of stuff coming up about that event, specifically the event and also the painting and the figures, and all of that is going to be coming up here in the next 2 weeks, just in time for that big anniversary. Let's go back a little bit and see. It's early. It's about 8:15 on a Saturday morning. You know how I love the early mornings. There's the cranes. But the pieces of the treasury, because that's completely locked off, they have been bringing those pieces back. And the treasury inside it has been fully cleaned and restored, even though there wasn't any damage at all because of the fire. But it's all been cleaned. The cases that were designed by Viollet-le-Duc, and everything's been slowly returning. The crown of thorns will not come in until probably the day before. They're keeping that one completely hush-hush because of security reasons. And the vault that they put that in is in a separate vault. It's actually underneath the floor. It takes 2 keys. It's a combination key lock. So both keys have to go in, and the keys are never together. They're always with 2 separate people, which is why on the night of the fire, it got a little bit scary there, because they could not, the gentleman that had the other key could not get to the cathedral in time. And so they were really worried because of the amount of people on the streets and traffic. But he thankfully did get here, and then they told the firefighters exactly what they needed to do to get the crown of thorns out. And that has been in also where the Virgin was at Saint Germain-l'Auxerrois, but it is believed that it was kept in the Louvre for safekeeping in between the times it was shown. And it used to be shown on the first Fridays of every month, but they haven't been doing that the last few months, definitely going into the summer. They did do something with it around the Paralympics, and then but she'll be back here. The crown of thorns will be back here inside Notre Dame, and then it will probably be shown around Christmas. And then usually the big time you see it, it's when it has its big moment in the sun, is the Fridays of Lent. So those Fridays between Fat Tuesday and Easter, it comes out every Friday, and it'll be once again here in Notre Dame. Don't get me started on the new reliquary they're making for it. Not a fan, although I haven't seen what it's actually going to look like other than like computer renderings. You can see the guys moving around in there. Let's go peek over the fence again. But we've also had a lot of news coming out about those first 2 days, when you could get in, and specifically they have announced when visitors could come back. Oh, let's go peek it through this side of the fence too. And I'll share that all with you. And remember, just be very careful what you find online. Be very careful on what you click. Only click on the official Notre Dame stuff, or I will also be sharing the official Notre Dame information, so you can kind of see in there. Look at that. Peek into the corner here while I hold this up. Oh, look at that. It is, guys, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Well, let's take a walk around and see how we're looking. See if any work has been done on the spire. I was by here, I believe, Tuesday morning. And it's fun that's when I thought I'd come share this with you when it's open, or when they're working, sorry. Really, this is the best time to be down here. Oh, it's almost too high for me. But I am really excited. I have been invited to one of the special events at opening week, and I can't wait for that, and I will definitely share it if possible. What I see in videos from inside if possible, but I do try to be, especially inside a church, respectful of prayer and people in there. So here on this side, so the flying buttresses, I've mentioned in weekends in different ones over the last few weeks on the Sunday videos, but the buttresses, these are all done by a company named Le Bras Frères, and this company is, I mean, they got really pinned right onto their star, because they're doing a huge, immense majority of the construction work on this. And these up here, you see the flying buttresses, which are a very integral part of the construction and holding up of a Gothic cathedral, because everything with a Gothic cathedral is about light. So it's not only is it to give the appearance of lightness, but it's also to get light into the church. So you don't want a lot of things blocking the windows. So the flying buttresses also help with distributing the weight. And because of everything that happened on the roof, and the entire, roof being torched, and that does also damage, especially because of the water, it will damage the stones. And so some of those could have shifted, but because it going back to medieval times and also the Via Le Duc, they found that there was actually big iron staples used on the roof to basically staple the stones together. It helped hold them because they were worried if they started to slide, the whole church could go down, and the flying buttresses play a pretty integral part in that, in holding that up. So they had to do something to make sure that those were in place. So this company created 20 of these, what they are calling hangers, and these 28 hangers were made within a millimeter of the space. They also put in some pieces of wood at the top that kind of shimmied in there, because when they first did it, the wood is still going to contract. But they've started to remove those, and they were placed in there between June of 2019 to February of 2020 under the 28 buttresses, and they've already started to they've been removing some of them from the south. As of last week, I saw 2 were gone, and they will work on the south. The north side here is going to be probably the beginning of 2025, but again, it's just another one of those things, especially those things they did the first few months of the construction, and now that the fact that those first few things are being removed just shows you how far we have come, and that it's getting close. It's so close. Again, also I want to mention very clearly that when it does open at 3 months, it is safe to go inside. Everything inside is state of the art. It's clean. It's going to be amazing. But when you look, like, especially on this side, because we are protected here by these buildings, the rain and things coming in, this side is the dirtier side of the church. But just because those stones are dirty does not mean that a lot of people have sent messages, oh, well, I hope they're going to clean it. It looks horrible. It looks dirty. Who cares? It's just cosmetic. As long as it's safe and everybody could get in there and it's safe for the workers, that's all that matters. If they don't ever clean these in the next few years, I don't care. So, and then it's the same people that'll complain that it's not clean enough. When it is clean, they'll complain that the inside is too clean, because you can see right here, this is what it looks like inside. This very light, almost blonde colored stone, and what that used to look like is really literally night and day. So let's go check down here. I'll be sad when all these plaques are gone, but these will probably be here for quite some time. They will not be removed. December 8th, these will probably be here a good another 2 years or so as they finish up everything. What's this gentleman doing? He's taking pictures of the fantastic grill work here. Here's the fire stops. The fire stops that they placed at 2 places in the roof, just before the transept. So these will hopefully, if there's another fire, will slow it down. But the mechanical works that have gone into the church literally are state of the art. It's going to be pretty amazing. So the opening weekend, it's been quite the argument between the president and the Catholic diocese of what is going to happen. But on that that afternoon, December 7th. This is all going to be carried on TV here as well, which is another huge argument because France TV got the contract with something like this. They say it should be available for everywhere. TF1 is another big French channel. TF1 is the one that has a gentleman, I think his name is Michael Izard. He is the one that has been really inside since the beginning, the last 5.5 years of behind the scenes and producing amazing videos. They have programs all the time on TF1, but it was France TV that got the bid on the rights, and so that's a big fight right now. And then also the president, look at, you can see lights on in there. The president, he will make his speech from in front of Notre Dame, just much like Henry IV, when he got married to Margaret de Valois, because he was a Protestant, they got married out in front of the church, and he wasn't allowed to go inside. So, but Macron will make his speech, so it'll be a good separation of church and state. Look at this guy. He will make his speech in outside, and then he will go inside. But what they will do, look at that face. The Archbishop, Ulrich, will bang on the front middle door, the door of the Last Judgment. He will bang on that 3 times. It will respond with the Psalm 121 3 times, and then he will enter the church, followed by the other high-ranking church officials, the president, and whoever else is going to be. They keep throwing out this thing about Paul McCartney. But we don't know that for sure yet. But they will enter the church, and then once in the church, he is going to, but basically they'll open what they're calling opening the pipes. They will bless the organ, although it's been tuned and everything's set up, but he will bless different parts of the church that night, and then they'll have a mass, and it'll be a very long mass. Then the next day on December 8th at 10:30 a.m. with 170 bishops in tow, they will do another mass, and this one is going to be another very long one, and they will do that inside the church. Again, all this is going to be televised. They're setting up massive TV screens around so people can come here and watch it. Good thing we have all those left over here from the Olympics. And they are calling this the 3rd opening ceremony of Paris. I think this is the best one by far. But they will televise everything. And then finally, on that day, we will be able to get in. So they will have doors at 5:30, 6:30 will be the first mass open to the public. And then the church will be open that night till 10 p.m. And from the 8th to the 13th, the hours will just be from 3:30 every afternoon till 10 p.m. And then on December 14th and 15th, the 3:30 to 8 p.m. And then starting on the morning of the 16th, we return back to the normal church hours of 7:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. And you know how I love an early morning. And if you want to come here, get up early in the morning and come here and get here at 7:30, because that is going to be the time. You're just not going to have as many people here. And even if you don't have the ticket, which I'll talk about in a second, they will always have a line for you to come in, even if you don't have a ticket. Sometimes that wait could be, they're saying 45 minutes. I'm going to guess it's probably going to be twice that at peak times. But you can wait in line. But if you come at 7:30, because that's what I used to do when I would come, and before I moved here, and before the fire, I would come here. I stayed in an Airbnb at the end of Boulevard Saint Germain once, at the far end, towards, basically it was opposite of the Pont de la Tournelle, which is farther than here. But I would come in here almost every single morning at about 7:30, 7:45 in the morning, and have the whole place to myself. And that's when I would start to chat with the cute little gentlemen that clean. And I had many of them take me and give me these exclusive little peeks into parts of the church that I will just honestly never, ever forget. But 7:30 is going to be the time to do this. So get up early, get your croissant, and come on down here, because it's going to be amazing. There's the cross. Mass. Love it. So they are imagining that they're going to have 40,000 people a day. Do you know how many people go to the Louvre? 30,000 people a day. So you're going to have 40,000 people a day for sure the first year. There's still arguments back and forth about charging. The government really wants to charge. I just shared today an article from Le Monde where a journalist was saying they should charge 20 to 30 euros per person. The government has proposed, or just the Minister of Culture, Rachel Dati, is trying to save 5 euros because that could help to restore churches. This journalist had a good point. You have some of these amazing, massive churches all over France, but in some of them, they're pretty tiny towns. They're not Notre Dame de Paris in the capital. They're in these little tiny towns, and these little tiny towns really don't have the funds to uphold and take care of these churches. But I think per person, 20 or 30 euros, that is just too much. People flipped out when the Louvre went from 17 to 22. And also, I just think charging that amount of money to come into a church, it's still open for worship. I've had people say that, well, yeah, but how many do we know actually come into their worship? There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people whenever I would come here. I'd come sitting here at Mass all the time, and I'm not even Catholic. We weren't even raised religious, and I love going to the churches for Mass because it's just beautiful. And but I just think, and there are churches like the Basilique Saint Denis, which is in the north, which is where they have all of the tombs of the kings and queens of France, and they do charge a ticket for you to go to the tombs, and it is all very evenly, very clearly roped off to where you can and cannot go with a ticket or without a ticket. I think they should maybe do it as a suggested donation, a very highly suggested donation, to get people to pay. Look at those beautiful trees. To get people to pay, I'd gladly pay to come visit Notre Dame. But I buy candles all the time when I go into the churches. I light a candle every time I'm in a church by myself. And it's like, I just think that's kind of, helping to do your part, and also, saying a nice wish or a prayer. But I also think what they should do is a special membership. I'd gladly pay a couple €100 a year to have a membership. If that just had you maybe had your own little special line. Heck, you could charge €500 a year for that thing. I'd gladly pay it for Notre Dame. But I don't know. It's one of those things that'll be debated here probably up until the opening. It might be another reason why they are not debuting the app. Look at that beautiful orange one. They're not debuting the app or the website with the tickets. The tickets, again, are going to be a time ticket. They're going to let about 2,500 people in every 15 minutes into the church. They're saying that the average visit before was 20 to 30 minutes. They now think it'll be 40 to 45. Well, I will definitely push that average over the edge, because the first time I get in there, I'll probably be there for 5 hours. Actually probably not. The crowd, it'll be so many people, I'll probably get frustrated. But it's going to be a very busy time to come in. But it'll be very exciting once the festivities, but everything between the 7th and the 15th, they're going to be doing special masses every day, dedicated to different sectors. There's even going to be one to the construction workers and everybody working on it. So it's going to be really fantastic. And then if you're coming here after, they will still have the normal mass every day. But they're going to have an app that's going to have 3 different walking routes. Look at that great view. 3 different walking routes and trails to do in there, focusing on different things. It's going to be a free app to download. I will put all that information here and on my website, and we'll talk about it on the podcast. But it might be one of those things that if you're coming to Paris to visit, you want to come download the app before. Don't wait till you get here and try to do it, because the cell service is sometimes not the best. And also, when you want to download an app, it's really slow. But look at here on this side. I still see the tarp around the lower part, the open work of the spire. We'll go on this side and see. But I just have to stop real quick and get a picture with all these trees. It's so beautiful. Alrighty, I love that they have all that lit up back there. You can kind of see in and through there. I was really hoping to get up onto the bleachers today, but who knows, maybe by the time I walk back there. Look at all that. So you can see more of that scaffolding built up around the spire. Underneath the tarp a little. I haven't seen anything lately posted from the site that they are working on that part of it yet, but oops. I was trying to see if we had any more pieces, the hangers. This north or southwest side is looking pretty. Oh, guess what, guys? Here we go. I'll try not to. You can see from down here the little door. They will do some work on the south tower later, but mostly on the outside. And they still haven't removed those pieces of plywood up there from in front of the top south rose window. And I still see some of the buttresses, the hangers on this side, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are gone now. I'm also really hoping they'll start taking down some of the, look at that. And they still have the ones on this side. That scaffolding going up there is a very good sign. Underneath where you see the scaffolding there, kind of in the corner, they have already placed the kind of risers that they will have. They will return the different the apostles back to the roof. And those were supposed to come out of the Architecture Museum, gosh, back in June. I have not been by there though, but I do believe that they were taken out, or maybe they're just there being held for safety, put away. Could really see in here, which is nice with the lights on. Could really see in there. Look at how beautiful that is right there with the orange. This is also where they have the amazing cherry blossoms in the spring. So pretty. I would just capture that. Beautiful. Now, if it was just a little bit sunnier, it has been chilly in the mornings in the 40s, and they had said that we were going to have these 3 days of sunny, lovely weather before rain comes in, but we haven't really had any sun. But we haven't had rain. But this is just another, I get people asking about, I'm coming in 6 months, how do I pack? I'm like, 6 months? We worry about the next 6 minutes or 6 hours here. You can't really ever bank on the weather in Paris. Definitely not on the apps. Don't ever trust the apps, especially that far out. If it's more than a day or an afternoon out, it's best to just pack with layers or shop when you get here. And there's lots of great options to find things if you need low. If you come here and it's cold and you're from a climate that's not used to cold weather, Uniqlo has the best little kind of, I don't know, not really long underwear, but it's called Heat Tech, and they have it in just about every form. I'm actually wearing really lovely black trousers today that have Heat Tech in it, and it has some sort of technology in the fibers that it works off your own body heat, giving it back to you. And its stuff is amazing, and you could get turtlenecks, really, really thin weight. It's like they're changing. So it looks like they're actually doing something with the fencing, which just looks a little bit more permanent. But maybe they're going to take that other fence down. And I'm not sure what's happening here with this crane, but maybe that crane's coming down. I've never seen it like this, where it almost looks like it fell down. But there's been people working on it since we started down here. But here she is. We can't go around the other side, unfortunately. But look at that. See the clock a little bit better. Oh, you could definitely see where the scaffolding is going up there. And the scaffolding is going all the way up on this side. So hopefully that gets started here pretty quick. But yesterday on Friday they did move, as I mentioned. And when I did go by Saint Germain l'Auxerrois just at about 5 o'clock, because I just thought I'll go see what's happening, and they had her all boxed up. And just seeing her boxed up, I just started getting tears in my eyes, and I was just so happy because I can't believe, and I know I say this every week, but I cannot believe we're at the point that we are so close to being able to return inside when 5.5 years ago, 5 years and 8 months it'll be, it just felt like, when could that ever happen? And here we are, 3 weeks away. Yeah, maybe they are taking the big guy over here down. I think it looks like riveting content for you. Yeah, I think they might be taking it down. Very exciting. Sorry, nice person. All right, guys. I'm going to walk around to the front again just to see, just in case. I'll pop back on and let you know. Still closed off, but they have almost finished taking down the tent. And look at that view. So hopefully this is not something that's just going to now be closed for the next 3 weeks. And I don't know when they'll take down the fence, obviously, between now and 3 weeks from now, but I can't wait for in a couple years. So there'll be more trees. There'll be a whole park going down. And if you don't get my newsletter, make sure you go to my website, ClaudineHemingway.com, to get my newsletter, because last week, or this week, I shared a bunch of stuff about Notre Dame, including some renderings of what they say it's going to look like. And see right down there where you see those two people standing, they're going to put windows in here and create a whole underground system down here. This was a parking lot, which is when they started working on that in the 70s, is when they found the ruins of the past churches that were here. So that was, I'll say, that's why you have the crypt museum here. That's a really fantastic one. But they are going to build a whole visitor center down there. So it's going to have meeting spots and cafes and restrooms, but it's going to have big windows that are going to open down here. But they're going to add about 150 trees to the area and just rework everything. So it's going to be really fantastic. So we can't wait to get to see that. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me today for another check-in on my favorite lady here in Paris. And hopefully make sure to follow me on Instagram, because I will update it all week with anything that's going on. I'll be able to come down here, I think, a few times this week. So I'll keep checking on it and sharing it with you. Make sure you go to my website, ClaudineHemingway.com, and sign up for the newsletter. You could find the podcast there and everything. So make sure you do that, and I will see you next weekend. Thanks.